Most people who say they want to leave their job will still be there 10 years later. I don't think it's because they are lazy or anything. Sometimes it feels like some sort of comfort zone. It's not always because of money. There's a term that explains a huge part of this, and I want you to remember it. It's called job hugging. Job hugging is basically staying in a job longer than you want because leaving feels risky. Bills exist, the economy feels uncertain, and stability feels safer than the unknown. Let me start with an intriguing question. Why do people stay in jobs they don't like for years? Yes, money matters, obviously. But money isn't the whole explanation, I think. The deeper reason is structure. Your job isn't just a paycheck, it's your routine, it's your calendar, it's your safe answer when someone asks what you do for a living. It's the thing that gives your week shape. So when you imagine leaving your job, you're not just imagining losing money, you're imagining losing your structure. And that forces a question most people avoid. If I remove this, what's left? Also, there's another layer people underestimate: social pressure. People around you don't like uncertainty. Sometimes they say it directly. Are you crazy? Don't quit. The economy is bad. Sometimes it's more subtle. A look, a joke, a comment like, must be nice to chase dreams. They mean well, but their fear becomes noise in your head. So you're fighting two battles, really. You're trying to build a new life while defending the idea of it to people who don't understand it. And that is exhausting. That's why so many people stay stuck even when they dread going to work every single day. They want to meet everyone else's expectations. You know, most people who say they want to leave their job don't even have a plan. They have a fantasy. And there's a big difference. The fantasy is, I'll quit and I'll figure it out. I'll do something I love. The money will come. And I get that. I get why that fantasy is tempting. It feels warm. It feels like freedom. But the problem is, it's not a plan. A plan answers specific questions. What exactly are you going to do? What does month 1 look like? Month 2? Month 3? Where does the first paycheck come from? Not eventually. First, and some people plan forever. They research, they watch videos, they make lists, they take notes. But they're not planning. They're procrastinating in a way that feels productive. It's paralyzing. So no, I don't think you need a perfect plan, but you do need a real one. Something concrete, a skill you're actually using, a service you can actually offer, a side income that exists, even if it's small, a product you can sell, something that people already exchange money for. Because jumping into nothing with nothing isn't great, it's stressful. And stress kills creativity. And creativity is exactly what you need when you're trying to build a new life. Okay, let's talk about what works. There are basically 2 ways people leave. One is the clean break. And second, there is the crazy exit, or the I quit today moment. And yes, sometimes that works too, but the internet only shows the winners. That's survivorship bias. For every person you see who quit with no runway and made it, there are many more who did the same thing and ended up panicking. So what do most successful people do? They do the slow, consistent build. They build the exit while they still have the job. And yes, that phase is uncomfortable because you're living 2 lives. Your job funds your survival, and your evenings build your future. And this reframe helps a lot. It keeps the motivation. You start to see your job not as a prison. You start seeing it as your future funding source. You're buying runway. By runway, I mean time. Time to learn, time to test, time to fail small, time to adjust. And here's the part people don't want to hear. If you can't work on your future when you're tired, you probably won't magically work on it when you're free. Because freedom doesn't automatically give you discipline. Discipline is something you build. So the slow build isn't just about money, it's also about proving to yourself, I can show up for my own life. And here's one of the simplest truths that motivates people the most. A year goes by anyway, whether you build or not. A year passes. You can be 1 year closer to leaving or 1 year older in the same loop. Same time either way. You know, some things that trip people up the most are they pick the wrong thing to build, or they quit a job they hate to do something that sounds cool, but they've never tested it. Then reality hits, because doing what you love still becomes work, right? The idea can feel exciting, and the reality can feel boring. So before you bet your life on something, test it first. Don't just dive in. First of all, do the slow and steady version. Take a first client, post consistently for 30 days, sell the first thing. Reality teaches you what imagination can't. In regards to money stress, I think people underestimate it. They have too much hope sometimes, and hope is powerful. They assume income will replace quickly. Sometimes it does, often it doesn't. That's why runway matters. It gives you peace of mind. You cannot build clearly while you're terrified about rent. One more thing, leaving a 9 to 5 isn't really about the job itself. It's about ownership of your time. And that's a scary thing to accept, because if it goes wrong, it's on you. No manager to blame, no company to resent, just your choices. But that's also what makes it powerful, because if it goes right, you know exactly who built it. So if you're in a job you hate right now, I'm not telling you to quit tomorrow. That's not the point. The point is, don't let years pass on autopilot, because staying feels safer. Start small. Test the idea. Build quietly. Buy a runway. And when the thing you're building starts to feel more real than the thing you're stuck in, that's usually when you stop job hugging. See you in the next one, guys. Take care.